But on the standpoint level of confidence coming from myself, I feel like if I would have just told myself to be more confident in the game that I had and stuff like that, like I probably would have been able to come up here and had more of an impact on the field earlier than what I had.
Hey, welcome to Changing the Game podcast, where we help you. Our aim is for recruits, for parents, for coaches, for the football enthusiasts out there that want to hear about real stories of world-class athletes getting to where they are today. And we know those stories are intertwined with faith. Extremely excited that you're here and you're viewing this right now. If you would, go ahead and subscribe, like, share, so that others might hear and see real life stories that might help them in their future. Our first guest today is Isaiah Chaney. Man, what an amazing athlete. 6'4", 285 pounds, defensive lineman from Wake Forest University. He comes from Cartersville, Georgia, where he was highly recruited by Wake Forest, but also others. Power 5 schools were after him. He's had some injury-plagued seasons. He's had some hard seasons that he's walked through, but he's still at it, and he's still got a purpose, and he is ready to share today with you about what he's gone through. So right now, let's listen in and hear from my guy, Isaiah Chaney. And today I am so honored to have my brother, Isaiah Chaney, who is a defensive lineman. He plays for Wake Forest. He is going into his redshirt junior year, where he hopes to make a huge splash this year on that defensive side of the ball. Isaiah, I appreciate you, and I appreciate your time, man. How you doing?
Yes, sir, man. Thank you for having me, dog. I'm doing good. I'm blessed.
Absolutely. So, what's going on with you right now? What's it look like every day for Isaiah?
Man, every day for me, the only real off days that we have, that I have, is Sundays. So, man, just working out every day, living in the training room, just trying to stay on top of my body and everything. I am taking summer classes, so I got all that going on top of football meetings, lifts, and then I got me a new dog right here too. So got that kind of going on as well. So it's a lot to juggle for real, dog. But I'm making it though.
Man, you're learning parenting skills early on.
Yes, sir.
Having a puppy is an extremely large task, especially
It is.
Your schedule. I don't even know where you fit that in. Power to you, dude.
Yeah, man.
Everybody knows. If they don't, they know by now. You are a defensive lineman and you play for University of Wake Forest. What's something that people may not know about Isaiah? What's something you might be doing behind the scenes that nobody really knows about?
Man, a lot of my teammates will call me a jack of all trades. They actually, it's funny you asked that, because one of my teammates that I'm pretty close to, his name Justice Ellison. He's our running back one. He always comes up to me and tell me, man, if it's anybody that I know is gonna be a good father, it's gonna be you, because of everything that I do outside of football. Like, I work on cars, mount TVs, cut hair, grill. I do a lot of stuff outside of football, whenever I have the time to do it. It's just something that eases my mind, you feel me? So just doing all that and having all those things for me to do outside of football is like something that I'm able to do outside of football without me just solely being, chill out, Kylo. Without me just solely being just focused on football, sometimes it's good to take your mind off of football. So being able to do those things, they help me to take my mind off of football, and they also help me to stay active. I'm not just sitting around the house, not doing anything. I started fishing too. I used to fish a lot when I was younger, but I've just started back fishing. I finally found some good spots up here in Winston to go fishing. So I actually went fishing today. I grilled today, so got to mount some TVs tomorrow. So it's a lot of things that I do outside of football that really only my teammates know about.
Wow. So You're doing a lot of things, not just football, not just working out, not just going to class, not just taking care of a dog, but this man is fishing. This man is a jokester. This guy, I mean, he's a real person. He's not just a student athlete, and everybody just sees him on TV. Like I just watched the spring game the other day, seeing you in there getting after it, and
Yes,
everybody
sir.
just sees, hey, there's this defensive lineman causing havoc. This guy's real. I mean, he's funny. He has a sense of humor. He's more than just an athlete, and that's one thing I want people to understand about like these conversations is
Hmm.
that y'all are more than just athletes.
Oh yeah, for
You're
sure.
more than just a number. I mean,
Exactly.
you're a person. You have a testimony, and you've gone through life, and it's amazing. Let me ask you this right now: what's going on as far as you've been vacationing? I know you said you're in school right now. What does it look like everyday routine?
Uh, well, we just got back. We just reported back on Wednesday, so we're gonna be here basically for the rest of the year. Like we start camp in late July, and then from camp, we roll into the season, and then we're here till December. Hopefully, hopefully we make a bowl game, and hopefully we're playing for ACC championship this year as well. So we're playing later on in December, but uh, I actually went on a cruise the week before I graduated. My grandma took me and my siblings and my cousin to the Bahamas. So we went on a cruise to the Bahamas, came back, graduated, and then literally like 3 days later after graduation, I hopped on another plane and went out to LA for a student athlete summit for a week. So
Wow.
that was pretty fun as well. I actually attended the same summit last year. Last year though it was in Houston, but this year it was out in LA at Southern Cal's campus. Last year it was at Rice's campus in Houston. But those are really like the only vacations I've taken. Other than that, man, like I said, I've been up here just working out. Like I said, trying to stay on top of my body, living in the training room. I did go home for like 2 days, and I came right back up here, got right back to work.
God, no time to waste. You got to get to
Yeah,
work.
man.
So you just mentioned going back home. I want to start there. I want to go back to your childhood. What was it like growing up? What was your family dynamics like?
So growing up until 2007, it was my older sister, and then me, and then my younger sister, and finally in 2007, I got a little brother, and in 2012, I got another sister. So it was just me, my little brother were the only boys in the house with four girls, four women, on top of being raised by our grandma and our aunts and stuff like that, and our grandpa and stuff. So man, it was just a big family that we had growing up. A bunch of us, a bunch of siblings and stuff like that. We basically raised each other honestly, like because my mom she worked a lot, so like we were always by ourselves, other than like on the weekends and stuff like that when my mom wasn't really working. Like after school, we'd go to the Boys and Girls Club, and we'd all be at the Boys and Girls Club until it got dark outside whenever my mom got off of work, because she was just working to try to make ends meet and stuff. So me and my siblings, like we're really close because of that. And like I said, it's 5 of us. My older sister Bethany, who turned 25 in May, and then me, and then my sister Jemiah, who's 20, and then my little brother that's 16, and then my baby sister who just turned 11. I call her a baby, but she's not really a baby. She's almost as big as me, honestly now. But
Oh,
yeah, she's the baby of the bunch. But she's 11, but she's 31. If you know what I mean. She got an old soul because all of us are way older than her, honestly. So I'm not gonna say she had to grow up kind of fast, but she kind of grew up fast just because like we were older, and it was like, man, we're not slowing down for you, Soraya. You gotta catch up to what we're doing. So, I mean, that was just a dynamic that we had, just a single mom, but and then like I said, we had all of our other family members, like our grandpa, our grandma, our aunts, our uncles, uh, our cousins who we grew up with. We basically consider them our siblings as well because of how much time we spent with them on the weekends and in the summer and stuff like that. So it's a good family dynamic over here.
and just how important that was for you in getting you to where you are now. I know those people poured in a lot of time and effort, like you said, your
Mm-hmm.
mom making ends meet, and you learning how to raise your own siblings and helping out, and then your grandparents, aunts and uncles, grandpa. I mean, it takes a village. It
It
honestly
does.
does. And you had a good one. It sounds like.
I did. Yes, sir.
A lot of people aren't that fortunate to
Mm-hmm.
have those people, so it's a blessing, and I know you're super appreciative of it. I want to go back to that moment that I don't know if you can recall it or if you even had it, but that moment you were like, wow, I love football. Maybe as a child playing at a young age, or maybe it was high school. Do you remember that moment?
It was actually in high school because I didn't even I started playing football my freshman year of high school. I mean, I grew up playing like backyard football and stuff like that, but growing up, I played basketball my whole life. And then once I got to middle school, I started kind of getting a little bigger, and all my friends were like, "Man, you should play football. You should do that." I'm like, "Man, football not for me." I'm like, "Y'all boys, y'all boys got football." I'm like, I'm just gonna stick to basketball. And then once I got to high school, and I remember my freshman year, I played on the freshman and JV team. And I'm going against dudes who are like 6'6", 6'7". I'm only like 6'3" as a freshman. So I'm like, dang, these dudes are huge. I'm like, there's no way I'm finna play at the next level playing basketball. Not as a center. I'm like, these people in high school are like 6'6" as freshmen. I'm like, man, college is gonna be a whole different world. Like in college, I'll be going against people that's like 7 feet and stuff.
Yeah.
And so then I was just like, man, you know what? It is what it is. So, like I said, freshman year, I played on the freshman JV team basketball, and then freshman year in high school, I played on the freshman JV team in football too. And then sophomore year, whenever I got moved up, and then I remember getting my first big hit my sophomore year, and I was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
like I like this. I like this feeling.
So that all came not in high school. I mean, not in a childhood backyard, but I mean that was like so many years down the road. People were telling you
Hmm.
to play, you go play, and then you begin to fall in love with it. When you finally realize maybe this is something that I could pursue in college and get a scholarship for, maybe before recruiting really heated up for you. What do you kind of recall any of that that moment?
Like I said, I started playing as a freshman, so like freshman year, like it wasn't like football. I didn't really take football as serious. It was just like something I was trying out. And then sophomore year, like I said, like I started playing varsity, but I played JV the whole season, and then I started playing varsity some. And then like after that big hit, I was like, I'm just gonna start taking this more serious. It was even like, and it's crazy because even like some of my folks were like, when I told them my freshman year, I was like, man, I still remember like going into that summer. I told my mom, I'm like, look, mom, you gotta take me to these football workouts in the morning. My mom was like, get out of my room, like you're not about to play football. I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like you gotta get up in the morning and take me to the school. And my mom was like, Isaiah, like you've never played football. Like there's no way you're serious. And I'm like, I know, but I want to try it. So I gave it a shot, man. And after I made it through those summer workouts, my mom was like, "You were serious about this?" Huh? I was like, "I told you I was." And then, like I said, like sophomore year is whenever I started playing varsity, and that's kind of whenever I started getting the looks that I was getting. And I'm actually blessed because I did go to school with Trevor Lawrence, so it was a lot of college coaches and stuff like that coming through Cartersville. Mainly looking at him, but then they would see other players, just flash, and they were like, okay, this kid has some potential. This kid can probably do something at the next level and stuff like that. And so Trevor really did bless a lot of his teammates, and he didn't even know it because he gave a lot of us like a chance to go on to the next level because of the notoriety that he had and because of like him getting these college coaches coming through, just talking to him. And then him really Trevor, like he didn't even like really doing interviews. So like he would kind of push people off, and then he would tell other recruiters and stuff like, go look at this teammate of mine, like he's really good, this, that, and the third. So I mean, the recruiting process for me was, like I said, I feel like it was probably more easier than some other kids just because of who I had there at Cartersville at the time. I mean, I went to school with people like Trevor, Avery Showell, Trey Creamer, some big time names that came out of Cartersville. And like I said, I just had the chance to, just prove that I could play at the next level as well.
Yeah, and you had an amazing coach, Coach King. I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
he was he was so instrumental in getting you guys looked at and making sure y'all were taken care of. He was, I know, for you and for others, a true blessing to be there
For
and to be there.
sure.
I mean, not just as a coach. I'm sure he was a great coach, X's and O's, because I mean he's
Hmm.
successful everywhere. But just to help y'all and push y'all is just another level, and just kind of shows the character of him as a coach and a guy and a man. So I know he loves the Lord. I know he loves Jesus. I know he's about it, and he's about the kids, and
Exactly.
that's amazing. And you were very blessed. And I mean, you had the likes of Trevor Lawrence's, and I mean, I remember before Trevor was there, Miller Forstall. I mean, you had
Hmm.
him. You had a guy like Kalen Heath. I mean, there was so many
Hmm.
different. I mean, so many different guys at Cartersville all of a sudden, and it was like takeoff. I mean,
Hmm.
Cartersville blew up, and now, I mean, it's a hotbed. I mean,
It
Alabama,
is.
Clemson, they're there every single year.
Hmm.
Wake Forest, they're there. ACC, SEC, they're in Cartersville,
Hmm.
and that's awesome. When you finally realized, like, hey, this is legit. Maybe when people started coming and they were like, hey, Isaiah, you need to come talk to this coach. When you started realizing, like, this could literally be, I mean, I could see this happening, like me
Hmm.
getting a D1 offer, getting an offer anywhere. What did your mindset like? What changed? Like as far as like when you really put on the foot to the gas on conditioning grades, like what was that like in that moment?
Well, grades were always like something that my folks were on me hard about. So like, even when me getting recruited and stuff, like my grades were always like top tier, high standard grades. I mean, even up here at Wake, like my folks still ride me about my grades. So my grades are something I've always taken serious. But like, also Wake Forest was my first offer. So after my sophomore season, my sophomore year, that spring, about to go into my junior years, whenever Wake came and they offered me because they seen me at a spring practice. And they were like, this kid has some potential and stuff like that. So like after they offered me, like I remember getting that phone call April 26th, and I was like, whoa, this is real. My mom's like, what do you mean they offered you? Like, what is this? And I'm like, I mean, I guess they want me to come play for them. I guess that's what the offer was. So then I remember going in there and talking to Coach King, and he was like, "Yeah, Coach Cohen sees some potential in you. He wants to offer you a scholarship to come play at Wake Forest. It's a full ride. Like you get up there, you won't have to pay for school, you won't have to pay for housing, you won't have to pay for anything." And then once I heard that, it was like a switch. Like I stopped like going out to parties. I stopped hanging out with a couple folks. There was some people on my team who were like, "Man, why did they offer you?" Like, and those were like the people that I steered clear of because those were like the kind of people who weren't trying to build me up and were like trying to congratulate me and stuff. It was more so like, bro, like you're not even like that good, this, that, and the third. And so like after that, I kind of put my head down and got to work. My junior year, I feel like I had a good junior year in high school. I wasn't starting, but I was a backup. But anytime I got in the game, I performed well. And then my senior year came around, and that's whenever I like really hunkered down on things. You feel me? I started, working out way more. Started talking to Coach King a lot more. Started working on my craft outside of our football practices, like spending extra time and stuff like that, trying to work on things just so I'd be able to, be good whenever I got up here. But then I think it was the fourth game of my senior year. We were playing Cedartown, I actually got hurt that game, and then I missed half of my senior year. So from the fourth game into the playoffs, I missed. I came back the first round of playoffs, and just being injured and dealing with that, I kind of became a coach for my teammates. I was coaching up Jesse Grogan. I remember he was the guy. He was the younger guy who took my spot whenever I was hurt for those couple weeks. And I just remember, just spending a lot of time with him outside of that. Was trying to coach him up. He was trying to get pointers and stuff for me, like what would I do here, what would I do there, uh, just like extra stuff that he could do so that he would be able to, continue to hold down my position until I came back. And so me and Jesse, we got real close during that time period, and then like I said, he held it down. We didn't drop it. We didn't lose a beat. Uh, Coach King still made me dress out every game just so I feel like I was a part of the team and stuff like that. So I was still dressing out even though I was hurt. Uh, it was one game he almost gave me the headset so I could hear what the defensive coaches are talking about and stuff like that. Just because he just wanted me to stay involved. So I'd probably say like my senior year is like whenever I like really hunkered down and was like, okay, I can really do something with this.
So I want to go back to something you said. You said that when you got that offer and things started to begin to really like your eyes open to this could be a reality. You said you let some people go that really weren't like for you. They didn't have your back. They wasn't loyal. They didn't really champion you as a person. They just very questioned you, like you said, and then you made some decisions not to go to parties and not to make those decisions to go out and put yourself in maybe some bad situations. But I kind of want to hit that for a minute because I feel like so many times you have this phenomenal athletic individual and maybe somebody right now in high school that's just not gotten to that point where they're ready to let it go. Like
Hmm.
you remember that moment you were just like, look, I gotta let these people go. I gotta keep grinding, keep moving, and they're not with me, so I'm just gonna let it be.
I don't really remember like the exact moment, honestly, but like I would just say, just kind of like just growing up though, like parties and stuff like that. Like I was always in the mix of things, like I wasn't. I'm not gonna say I was the best kid growing up because I really wasn't. Like I would get in a lot of trouble and stuff like that. But like just kind of like really just talking to Coach King, honestly, like he was like, man, like you could take this to the next level. Like you can do what you need to do. You feel me? And he told me like the more work you put in now, like the more rewarded you'll be later on in life. So I kind of like took that into account, like just thinking like if I can just put my head down right now and work for this short amount of time, like it'll pay off whenever I get older. So that was kind of like the mindset that I developed, like from talking with him and stuff like that when in high school, and then like I said, just being able to just sit back and just recognize people who were actually showing me like true genuine love versus those who were like just trying to wait around to see like, oh, what's gonna happen. Like those people who are like, I told you so, like he's not gonna make it, like he's not gonna do good. Like those were the kind of people that like I kind of just steered clear of, and I guess you could say like I let go of.
Yeah. Well, and that's hard, I know, because you're a high schooler. You want to do things that high schoolers want to do. You make a decision to steer clear of that, and you have a great coach who helped mentor you and help you make decisions to better your future, and that's awesome, and it's just amazing. So I want to ask you this: so like, you got ready to make that decision. Was it always just Wake Forest, or were there other people maybe at the end that had come in because hey, got a Wake Forest offer? Uh, did it ever come to like really hard deciding where you were going to go, or was it always just Wake Forest from the get go?
Oh man, Coach Cohen, me and him, it was kind of. I've always had love for Wake Forest, just because they were my first offer. Like it was a genuine offer. Like Coach Cohen, like took the time out to not only just me, but like my grandma, him and my grandma have a great relationship. Him and my mom have a great relationship. So like it wasn't just me he was recruiting. He was recruiting my folks as well, just basically bringing them into the family as well. But I mean, as a high schooler, you make dumb decisions. Like me and Coach Cohen, like he hated that I was talking to coaches behind his back. So like I was talking to like UCF coaches who are no longer there, Vanderbilt coaches. It was the couple coaches I was talking to like kind of behind his back just because I wanted to test the waters. But my folks, they were like, man, if you let go of this Wake Forest offer for any other offer, like you're crazy, like you're insane. Like the academics are top tier, football is top tier. It's in the ACC, like it's a Power Five, Division I school. It's small, just like Cartersville, and they were like, you're just gonna let this go, just trying to, just feel around for other things. And so I kind of had to, just take a step back and realize, like, man, Wake Forest is really the place for me to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, because a lot of times, kids I've seen get into a predicament last minute. Some crazy offer comes in. It's like I've had no time to even process this, and it may not be a good fit, but they see something
Mm-hmm.
bigger or better or shinier, and they say, "Well, let me try this." And it's awesome that you've kind of stayed really, really, close to this commitment. You said, "Look, this is
Yeah.
it." And I mean, I mean, yeah, you talk to other coaches, but I mean, like, honestly, coaches are going to do that. They're going to want to talk to you, feel you out, test you out, see what
Exactly.
you think. And I mean, as a human being, you got to say, okay, well, is this the right fit for me? So in
Mm-hmm.
finding that, you have to hear what's available elsewhere and from who, and kind of see how they're talking. And so it's awesome though that your whole thing has been Wake, and they've been
Oh
Wake
yeah.
Forest, and awesome, like you said, academics. They're ACC. They big time football, Power Five. I mean, this is an awesome opportunity, and you're there. So let's fast forward. You're leaving Cartersville for Wake. What's that like coming in as an incoming freshman?
Uh, it was very nerve wracking. I actually got up here earlier than the rest of my class. I got up here 3 days after I graduated high school. I came up here to Wake. There was a couple people in my class that enrolled earlier on in January. I think it was like six of them, but like out of the rest of us, I got there like I said, 3 days after I graduated from high school. So it was nerve wracking. I was like, man, I'm alone for the first time ever. I'm away from my family. I got to get used to being up here. Got to get used to being on a daily routine. So whenever I first got up here, like I said, I got injured my senior year. Uh, I had shoulder surgery, and I ended up having that shoulder surgery, and then by the time I got up here, I was still recovering from it and stuff like that. So whenever I first touched campus, it was actually three people that came in with me. It was me, Kenneth Walker, who's currently the running back for the Seattle Seahawks, and then Isaiah Sisma, who's a cornerback for the University of Nevada. It was us three that came in together, outside of the rest of our class who enrolled early, or the other people who came in like later in May. So it was us three when we first came in. So us three gained like an incredible bond. We were lifting at the same time, rehabbing. We were in the same classes and stuff like that. So kind of just being around them, it kind of, you know, gave me that family dynamic back as, man, I gained some real brothers, and I really did.
That's awesome to come in with people and be in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
What you're going through, you know what they're going through, and being away from home, coming in, I'm sure, wow, whole different ball game when it comes to how you do things. So
Yeah.
what does a student athlete at Wake look like? I mean, what does it look like for you every day, like in season, especially? What does it look like?
Uh, in season is we go from Tuesday to Sunday. Our off days up here on Mondays, but I mean every day is get up, you watch film, you practice. Then after practice, you have class, and then you gotta get back up there between class and stuff like that before the next day to go watch film from practice from the day before. I mean, from that day. So then it's honestly, I would say it's longer than a 9 to 5 because we're up in season. We're up at like 5 in the morning. Meetings are about 6:15 or so, and we practice. And then from practice, like I said, we go to class, and then after class, you got rehab, or you got tutoring, or you got to go meet with your coach to watch film to discuss the game plan. Or you got to meet with your teacher for office hours to get caught up with schoolwork. Or you got to go talk to your academic counselor to tell her like you need a tutor for your class. So it's honestly longer than a 9 to 5. I would say that in season we're like 5 to 7. Honestly, it's like 14-hour days, and then you still gotta find time to eat. You still gotta find time to try and take a nap. You still gotta try to find time to hang out with your friends. It's just very time consuming. But as long as like you get to any college, honestly, as long as you have great time management skills, like you'll be fine.
So, what's one thing you've learned from being this student athlete? I mean, I can imagine time. You have to do with well with time prep. Like you got
Mm-hmm.
to be on time because I'm sure they don't take you coming in 20 minutes late somewhere, especially for football or class.
Nah.
So, like, what's something that you've learned as just being a student athlete? I mean, I know high school, it's its own thing, but like
Mm-hmm.
being a college athlete, that's a whole nother ballgame. So,
It
like,
is.
what's something you've learned? You feel like you've learned that's kind of molded you into who you are today?
Uh, I would say since I've been up here, my communication skills have gotten way better than what they were in high school. Like I am this outgoing person and stuff like that, but like being able to have like difficult conversations, like whenever I got up here, it was hard for me to have, like my coaching ability, being coachable and stuff like that has gotten way better as well too. But like I said, I feel like that has to do with me being able to communicate more effectively and have those harder conversations. Like college football is it's a business, so like sometimes there are going to be hard conversations that you got to have with your coaches, that you got to have with your physical therapist, that you sometimes even got to have with your teammates. So like just being up here, like we're all grown men, so like grown men are gonna have to talk some hard conversations out and stuff like that, and you got to be able to not hold any resentment towards your teammates or your coaches or your physical therapist or your academic counselor. So like in high school, I mean, we were kids, it was just all fun and games. Like you didn't really have to have like any hard conversations with your teammates or your coaches or anything like that. Whereas like up here, I mean, there may be conversations where you're like, look, coach, I'm not happy like with my playing time, this, that, and the other. And your coach will tell you straight up, like, man, you're not producing. Like, you need to do better. This is what you need to do. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. But like, whereas like in high school, like he'd be like, Coach, I don't like how much I'm not playing. I mean, Coach will be like, just wait. Basically, like it would be something like that simple, like just wait your turn. Whereas like up here, like he'll tell you like what you need to do, why you're not playing, like what he expects from you, where you're underachieving at, this, that, and the other. So I would say like my communication skills when I got up here gotten way better, and then just me being coachable has gotten way better as well. But that has to do with me, communicating with my coach, him telling me the things that I need to do, and me expressing the things that I feel like I'm doing well or that I feel like I'm doing poorly.
That's that's great. I mean, because that's the one thing that you want to learn, you want to grow, you want to get better at certain things, different areas. And you could have easily said, "Yeah, I got bigger, I got stronger, I got faster." But one thing I've really learned here is how to communicate,
Mm-hmm.
how to receive communication, and that goes well for life. Not just in football, not just in academics, but that's everyday life. That's
Yeah,
amazing. So what's the 2023 season looking like for Isaiah Chaney? What's it looking like right now? How's things progressing? What's it looking like for this year for you?
man, I'm getting bigger, getting faster, getting stronger. I feel myself starting to gain more of a leadership role within the team. Trying to make sure that the younger guys are ready to fulfill their roles whenever their times come, and just putting the same amount of pressure on the older, getting bigger, faster, and stronger. Kind of putting the same pressure on the older guys that I'm putting on the younger guys. Just making sure that everybody's trying to, progress each and every day. And then for myself, like I asked them for the same things. Like I asked the older guys, stay on me as hard as y'all stay on the younger guys, and same for the younger guys. I'm like, man, y'all, if I'm pushing y'all can push me back. You feel me? Like make me better. Like it's a couple younger guys that I've taken under my wing. We push each other each and every day. Kind of the same thing that I did in high school, my senior year of high school. Found a couple younger guys like Jesse, like Manny Hayes, and kind of like challenge those guys each and every day that we came to work. It was like, man, push me to get better because I'm pushing you to get better. But at the same time, I'm gonna have to hold the older guys to the same standards as well. So, I mean, I feel like there's big things for me to come that they expect from me this year, and it's some things from the spring that I have to fix in order to be in that significant role that I know that I can be in and that they know that I can be in.
And we're hoping and praying for a breakout year
Oh
this
yeah.
year, just to really help catapult you. Because I know, just like any other college athlete, I know somewhere inside of you there is a dream to make it to the NFL. Of course, I'm sure there is, right?
For sure.
So, like with that being your redshirt junior, I mean you've got this year, next year. So I mean, like, what's it looking like? I mean, you really trying to push it to the next level to get to
Oh
that
yeah,
point.
I am. I just with me the thing is just injuries and stuff like that. That's something that coming in I didn't think I would have to deal with. I had my shoulder done, my left shoulder done my senior year of high school, and my right shoulder done the 2020 season, and then I had my knee done last year. So just dealing with injuries. Like I said, that's why I'm living in the training room a lot more. Something that an older guy from last year, Ryan Smith, he's a linebacker for the Rams. Now that's something that he told me. He was like, man, you just got to live in the training room. Like you have everything to be an outstanding player here at Wake. He was like, you just got to stay on top of your body. It was something that I didn't really think that I would be dealing with. But Lord willing, I'm still here. I'm still persevering. I'm still pushing each and every day. Living in the training room, spending extra time with my strength and conditioning coaches inside the weight room, whether it's getting stronger or stretching, doing mobility, and just those little things that a high schooler may not think that you have to do in college. Like in high school, you didn't really stay inside the training room. Like high school training room is way different than what a training room in college is. In high school is, oh, you're just gonna do like one or two exercises and you're fine. Up here is you got a whole hour and a half worth of rehab, and then you got recovery, and you might have to come back to get another recovery session and get in the cold tubs or game ready or dry needling. It's a lot of things that play a role of that.
Well, you said something there, Lord willing. I want to kind of dive off in this area now. I just want to know how your faith and your walk with the Lord has impacted, I mean, your journey to this point with injuries, with uncertainties. What what's that been like as far as like your relationship, and your faith with the Lord?
Man, God is really testing me. He's testing my faith a lot. I've never folded. I've always put my faith in God that this is just all a part of His plan. It's just something that He needs me to do in order for me to keep trusting in Him and trusting in His plan I actually have Jeremiah 29:11 tagged on me. For I know the plans I have for you, declared the Lord. I'm trusting in God. That through all the injuries, through all the bad times, through all the good times, like it's a reason that he's putting me through those things. Life isn't always going to be easy. I feel like in my high school days, he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna give you this easy go round. You're gonna be good. I'm gonna make it easy for you." And then, like I said, man, my senior year came. I felt like I was gonna have an outstanding year. Boom, injured, and then I was out for about 6 to 7 weeks, and then came back, played the rest of the season, and then had the surgery, and then got up here. I was good for the first 2 years. Boom, injury. Came back from the injury, and then about a year and a half later, boom, another injury. So I mean, I can just feel him, just testing my faith. And, I'm sticking strong with him. I put my faith in God each and every day. Um, and he's been a blessing to me. He's taught me a lot of things. I think without the injuries, I think my perseverance wouldn't be as strong as it is right now. I don't think that my faith in God wouldn't be as strong as it is right now without him, because even through the injuries, he still has me here. I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. I'm still able to walk. I'm still able to, get out and be able to do things that a lot of people wish that they had the opportunity to be able to do, but they don't have that opportunity presented to them. So, I mean, I tell the younger guys a lot, I'm like, man, don't take this for granted, take advantage of the opportunity that he's presenting in front of you each and every day. Like, don't, don't, don't take it for granted, because there are a lot of people out here who wish that they could be doing what you're doing right now.
Amen. I mean, without some of those hardships in life, I mean, we won't be who God wants us to be.
Mm-hmm.
The process that He puts us through can be difficult a lot of times, but that's where you have to rely on faith. You have to disregard
Exactly.
everything else, and you just say, "All right, I know you got it. I'm gonna trust you." And your situation, I mean, you have a testimony. You have a story that's impactful, because it's not been, oh, you're 5 star, you got 75 offers, you're injured your senior year, you go to Wake, that's where you fell in love with, and you're still there, and you hadn't left. I'm sure you could have portaled out by now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure there have been opportunities, but you're still there, and you're still there for a purpose, and that's amazing. I'm not saying anything's wrong with the portal. In that. But what I'm saying is, with your circumstances, I mean, you could have easily done given up by now and said, "All right, I'm throwing in the towel. Too many injuries. I'm done with this." But you're still
Exactly.
here. You're still rolling, and God's got a major plan for your life, and I can't wait to see what the next steps are. I want to ask you this question before we get to the lightning round. Um, what's something you now would tell the high school you? What kind of what kind of uh, what kind of advice would you give the high school Isaiah now? What would you tell them?
Mm, that's a good question. What would I tell myself? I would probably tell myself have more confidence in myself. Like, I feel like my confidence level, like throughout high school playing football, like it wasn't where it needed to be. If I just trusted more in the coaching that I was receiving, I feel like I'm more than likely still would have chosen Wake, but I feel like I would have been better prepared whenever I got up here. Like, in a standpoint myself, like I said, the coaching that I received back in Cartersville, from Coach Candela, from Coach Corrigan, from Coach King, from Coach Foster, like the coaching that I received, the conditioning levels that I had were outstanding because of them. But on the standpoint level of confidence coming from myself, I feel like if I would have just told myself to be more confident in the game that I had and stuff like that, like I probably would have been able to come up here and had more of an impact on the field earlier than what I had.
Hmm. So let's go to the lightning round real quick. We get to this thing, closing it up. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions. You just answer pretty quick. Favorite food?
Chicken wings.
Chicken wing. From where?
Uh, this place up here called Putters. Really good wings.
Okay. When I come up there, I'm gonna have to go to Putters.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Favorite childhood college team? Football.
The Georgia Bulldogs, and I only say that because of my grandmother.
Go dogs. All
Go
right.
Dogs.
My wife would love that. She loves them. What's your favorite thing to do in your spare time? I got an idea about what this is, but you answer.
Uh, Shoot, fishing, playing with my puppy, playing my game, not TVs, all the extracurricular activities that I said I do earlier.
Yeah, I figured fishing was going to be in there. If you weren't a college football player, what would you be?
I'll probably be a coach.
Okay, awesome. Well, hey, still time for that later on down the road. Maybe,
Exactly.
I'm sure. Favorite all-time movie?
Favorite all-time movie? I would probably have to say Rush Hour 3.
Sweet. Oh man, love that movie. This is gonna be one everybody's gonna love. MJ, Kobe, or LeBron?
mm. It would. I would say as a kid, it would be that specific order you said: MJ, Kobe, LeBron. But now I feel like LeBron is the better all-time player. MJ is the player who set the stone, and then Kobe was like the player that came in between, kind of raised the game more, and then LeBron took it over.
Mm, man, me and you still friends, but man, MJ. This was on there, but I want to ask this question: who is your all-time favorite athlete? All-time favorite.
My all-time favorite athlete, and it's actually crazy that you asked that because I was just talking about this not too long ago. But Russell Westbrook, man, Russell Westbrook was probably the my favorite athlete that I had, growing up. Man, Russell Westbrook, he was such an explosive point guard. He was. I feel like Russell Westbrook is what Derrick Rose would have been without like all the injuries and stuff that he had. So man, Russell Westbrook, man, when he was with the Seattle Supersonics, man, it was just amazing. And then they took their talents to Oklahoma City. He just watching him. I was always eyes glued to the TV whenever he was playing.
Russ was bad, man. Still a bad man.
He is.
Said Derrick Rose would have been even
I, I,
better.
I tolerate no Russell Westbrook slander.
Russ is a gamer, man. Russ is a gamer. Hey, I want to ask you to leave a message for any kid right now that's in the process you found yourself in. I mean, it could be a high schooler right now. It could be a parent that's looking for information or
hmm
like firsthand people who've been through it, or maybe even a guy in college right now that maybe JUCO guy or maybe a portal guy. What
hmm
message would you leave with them? And maybe they've been through injuries or maybe not, but I just want you to leave a message for any kid looking to make it to where you are right now.
First message I would say is just don't give up on yourself. As athletes, we put in a bunch of time, trying to perfect our craft and stuff like that. So you only know how good you are within yourself. Like I said, just going back to the whole confidence thing, I wish I would have told myself like have more confidence in yourself. So if it's anybody just watching, man, and you're trying to get to the next level, the first thing I would say is have confidence in yourself, and have a great attitude, have great effort, because those are the two things that you can control in your everyday life. So that's one, and then like within the recruiting process, man, you'll know when the love is genuine. Uh, you'll know when a school offers you just to offer you. You'll know when a school offers you because they really want you. Uh, because they'll try to, like I said, build those relationships. Like I said, Coach Cohen, when he offered me, he talked to me for a little bit. And then after that, he was like, man, I want to get in touch with your family. So like, because because he wanted to build that relationship, because he knew that I would choose Wake Forest, and he wanted my folks to be able to trust him and stuff like that. So just having that relationship, like, you'll know, like, if you're in the recruiting process, like, who's really there to recruit you, who really wants you to be a part of their family. You know, you have some coaches that'll offer you, and then they won't talk to you until it's like time to commit, and then they're like, "Oh, you need to commit here. This is what we have to offer." Like, forget all that, man. You'll know when it's a true, genuine connection between you and the coach and the school and the players that are on the team. Even some of the older guys who may leave, before you get there, like, you'll still be able to build that relationship with them and stuff like that. So I think it's kind of good to have that. And then, like, for the parents, man, just enjoy the recruiting process as well as their children are. You know, parents, they play a big role in the recruiting process as well. I mean, I know, at least for me, like, I had my mom, I had my grandma involved in my recruitment process a lot. Like, I had them talking to the coaches, I had them researching the schools, the teams, GPA, like what like curricular activities and stuff they had on campus and stuff like that. Like, just a bunch of things. So, like, parents, they, just as well as the students are involved, like, I feel like the parents should be involved as well. Kind of just helping their kid out, within the recruitment process, like letting them know about certain schools. Like, my mom, she did an amazing job doing that for me while I was getting recruited. Same thing with my grandma. She did an amazing job as well. Like, anytime a school offered me, boom, they would be the first ones to know before I even posted it, before I told Coach King or any of that. I would tell my mom and my grandma, and boom, they'll research it. They'll look at everything. The first thing they'll do is look at academics. Like, outside of football, this academics, man. That's, like I said, my folks, they hammer hard on me, about my academics. So that was always the first thing they looked at was, boom, the academics. And then they were like, you're a small town country kid. You don't need to be anywhere big. So then, boom, they would look at the student population. They would look at, you know, when you'll be able to move off campus, what dorms looked like. It was even to the point where, like, they would look at, like, the cafeteria options that they had. Like, they were serving inside the cab because they were like, man, you like to eat, so you don't want to go somewhere where they have bad food and stuff like that. So it was a lot of things that my mom and my grandma, did for me outside of dealing with the coaches and stuff like that. So I feel like the parents, they should be just as involved as the students are.
Got to take care of the boy now.
Got to.
He got to do good in school, and got to make sure where he is at all times. And
Exactly.
that's a sign of somebody who truly loves you, because they don't want you to make mistakes. They want you to and have even the better things in life that a lot of people don't even think about.
Exactly.
That's a blessing, man. I'm gonna say it's been an honor to talk to you. It's been an
Oh,
honor
yeah.
just for you to be on this and take out some time. I know you're busy, but what this is gonna do for people, and I hope it's doing right now, it's gonna benefit a lot of people. I just
Oh,
appreciate
yeah,
your
man.
time,
Appreciate you too, big dog.
man. You my bro. You're gonna be my bro. We're gonna start
Forever.
sending videos out every Friday before a game. So,
Oh, yeah.
man, I appreciate you. Again, thank you for being on.
Yes, sir.
Praying that God would continue to use you and keep you safe in this next season.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Adam.